Please beep that out. I don't want that getting on YouTube. Hey everyone, so for one of my businesses, I just hired a guy who is 22 years old. He wanted to know what I think he should be doing regarding investing. And like all 22-year-olds, the only thing that he is investing in at the moment is crypto and beer. So if I could go back in time and be 22 again, these would be the 5 purchases I would make around this age to set myself up to be a millionaire in my 30s and 40s. The best purchases that will make you the most money possible. These things are available to nearly anyone in the world in some shape or form. All right, so let's do it. So here are the 5 best purchases to make in your 20s. Poехали. So if life is a game, well, dying is losing. So understanding risky things and avoiding them is a good start, like driving too fast or swimming while under the influence of alcohol. But it's not just death that can wipe you out. Being bankrupt is like going back to the start of the game, but worse. And serious injury or sickness can bankrupt most people. So good health insurance can limit that possibility. All right, so this one does depend on your country, but in America, it is called a Roth IRA. In Australia, it is called superannuation. Essentially, this is a tax-effective retirement account that you can put money into each year before you pay tax on this income. Inside your retirement account, you can invest the money into stocks or index funds, and I suggest index funds. All the money you make inside this retirement account generally is tax-free too. So when you are allowed to access it when you're like 65 years old or something, then you would have accumulated all of this tax-free compounding money. So put in the maximum amount you are allowed to each year and invest that money into an index fund. This is one of the simplest, easiest things you can do that will almost guarantee you are financially okay in your old age. Plus, it is really tax effective and not only a good way to save money, but reduce that overall tax bill, which then leads me to my next point. So you might be thinking this one is a bit silly, but saving money on your annual income tax bill translates into far more money in your 30s. And if you haven't done this yet, see if you can find an accountant who knows all the things that you can claim. Don't be scared to test a few accountants as well. They're all pretty different. And if you can get a good one, well, the accountant will more than pay for themselves in savings. You can then invest the savings into the other things on this list and be far more wealthy in the long term. There is a reason why rich people minimize the tax that they pay. They know how valuable saving money is in the long term. It is also part of the reason they're rich in the first place. Or if you're a big nerd like me, you can learn how to do it yourself. This is a great hack that I'll share with you. So go hire a really good tax accountant, and after interviewing like 5 of them, get them to do your tax return and ask for all the strategies to minimize next year's tax bill. Then next year, I just went through the previous year's tax filings and did it all myself based on what the accountant had done the previous year. I essentially learned all the tricks and all the things I could claim, and now didn't have to pay the accountant because I just did it myself. It really wasn't that hard, and I saved a lot. Then if you're a maniac like me as well, you could take it to the next level and actually leave your high-paying tax country and go to a low-paying tax country. This has probably made one of the biggest differences in my overall wealth than probably anything else. But I know this is a bit extreme. All right, sorry about this being the lamest one, but it is still the most important. Because if you can earn more money, you can invest more money, and you can start that snowball rolling from a bigger base. I know this is generic, so let me try to be more practical with some examples. So a university degree, well, it's mostly a waste of time and money. I just think the value for money in a university degree doesn't make sense for most people. There are obvious exceptions because they require extensive training and specialization. So that would be doctors, surgeons, medical professions, lawyers, even though I think AI is probably going to disrupt the legal industry pretty dramatically, most engineers, most of the sciences. And if you are thinking of a university degree as a stepping stone for career advancement in one of these areas, like business, history, psychology, languages, sociology, philosophy, coding, fashion, film and television, well, honestly, I think you're wasting your time and money. These things can all be done in short courses for a few $100s, and the rest you learn in the real world. Look, I have a business degree and an education degree. Okay, I couldn't be a teacher without a degree, but I could do anything entry level in the business world without that business degree. I learned so much useless stuff at business school. I would be far, far further ahead if I had just read a handful of the best investing books over and over. All right, so let me actually provide a list of books that I believe, if read multiple times, would give you a bigger advantage in life than any business degree, MBA, or even psychology degree. I think these would cost about $250 in total and would put you ahead of 99% of the university degree world. Yep, it's true. These books will save you tens of thousands of dollars and give you more valuable information. Now, if you want to do something else, say a bit more specific, like become a clothing designer, then find an expert in the field and look for an online short course from them. Or maybe you're working in a warehouse at the moment. So go get a forklift license, or even better, get a crane license. Go from working on the bottom of the floor to earning significantly more money and operating the crane. Or let's say you wanted to start a YouTube channel. Well, cool. I also didn't know how to do that at the start, so I did a little course to work out all the things I needed to do to get started. These basic upskilling things in your 20s that get you more income are probably the best purchases you can make. Now, also, don't think you need to be an expert in something before you can start making money. YouTube, for example, takes a lot of practice and time to get moving. I cringe at my videos I was making early on in my channel. Ugh. Anyway, you will learn along the way from making mistakes. That's the best part. There are hardly any consequences in your 20s. You lucky sons. All right, so you have protected yourself with health insurance, you have saved money through paying less tax, and you're now upskilling yourself. The number one thing you can do in your 20s is take advantage of the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. Just like what you are doing in your retirement fund, you now should be also wanting to invest in something that will grow in value over time. The difference between starting at 20 and starting at 33 is insane. When starting at 20, $10,000 invested into a low-cost index fund like VOO or IVV, getting about 7% per annum, plus adding in your savings each month, well, you will be well over $1 million by the time you're 50. But a 33-year-old like me, starting with the same amount, doing the same thing, will only have $400,000 by the time I'm 50. So being in your 20s is a huge advantage if you understand compound interest. Now, if you do want to invest in an index fund like I've suggested, then you're going to need a reliable brokerage account that will still be strong in 30 years' time. And my best bet on this would be Interactive Brokers. They are the best brokerage company out there, and they're not some startup like Robinhood. There's a link in the description to take a look, and you can play around with the demo account to get comfortable before signing up for the real thing. And if you're interested, I do have video demos on the channel if you want a step-by-step guide to the platform. Now, of course, you don't have to invest in index funds, although I think it is a good option. You can try real estate or some other asset that actually has some value. In the US, you can get access to 30-year fixed mortgages, and I think that is incredible. I would be getting involved in this if I was American. Anyway, the books from the previous section will help you figure out what investment class suits you. Now, my advice for my 22-year-old employees, I would avoid the crypto world unless you really honestly know what you are doing. And I would say there are about maybe 10,000 people in the entire world that have enough of an understanding about crypto, and it's probably not you. So that's the top 5. And I'm super jealous of all you 20-something-year-olds out there. Time is the most important resource we all have, and I haven't figured out how to time travel yet. I would honestly give up my entire net worth and all of my belongings if that meant I could be 20 years old. Now, speaking of 20-somethings, I want to say thank you to Unkt, who is somewhere around 20 years old. He may be even younger. You have been with me since the beginning of my channel, and I appreciate the support. You are a legend. Thanks for staying to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.